welcome back to another episode of We Roguelike It. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
Starting next week, we will have a brand new scientist joining the crew. The Nymph is going to be joining us, as we'll talk about on TVGP over there. And Monkey Sr., who did a couple weeks on the show a couple weeks ago, he will be joining us here for We Roguelike It. So we'll have three scientists here that I will need to figure out how to do the video layout for ranking, because that's going to be interesting. But that's a problem for another couple weeks. It's a problem for future Boston. But what we're going to come together and talk about now is our fourth and final week of Caveblazers. I did not play this that much this week.
I played it a little bit, but it was one of those things where, honestly, the game didn't click with me.
Yeah.
A lot. Might as well get the negative stuff out the way first. It feels very derivative.
Okay, a derivative of...
like a mixture of everything. Like, it's got hints of Spelunky in there. It's got the 8-bit art style of, like, something like Risk of Rain, you know.
Or, like, old-school Spelunky.
Yeah, or original Spelunky, yeah. It feels like it's taken a bunch of ideas from other games and put them together. And don't get me wrong, the game's not bad.
Right.
Like, by no means is it a bad game. The fact that they've got the controls as tight as they have them is a wonderment in itself. Just take a look at, you know, Super Meat Boy's controls and figure out how important it is to have that kind of control level.
Right.
Like, it's genuinely a fantastic like achievement that they've done, but at the same time, it doesn't feel unique enough. It doesn't feel like it's itself enough. Like we'll get into this probably in more detail when we hit the ranking, but it feels generic to me.
Right.
Like, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, yeah.
And it kind of feels like it's always trying to kick you in the teeth, like, a lot.
Yeah, I feel like probably my main negative of it is I feel like it's too difficult. I don't think it's unfairly difficult. I don't think there's a lot of times where it's just like what killed me, or why did I die, or why did I run into 15 giant purple dudes in this one room? Like, there's nothing like that. Except for those blue bullet bomb things. Those guys suck, Jesus.
Yeah, they do.
But I feel like the first two levels are fine. That first boss is often too hard. And if you make it past that, boy, the difficulty ratchets up really pretty drastically.
Yeah. It's one of those games, like, it's like, people give the Souls games a lot of crap for not being welcoming, for not being friendly, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Whereas this game, I feel like it's like the first two levels, like you said, they're hard but not too hard. Mm-hmm. Whereas the second you hit the first level after the boss, it feels like everybody hits you twice as hard.
Yeah.
It's like you take 2 hits and you're dead. Right. And on top of that, they all start doing the status effects. It's like, oh, here you go, now you're on fire.
Right. Now you're poisoned. Yeah, and it feels like in a lot of roguelikes that we've played on this show, usually the first two levels are difficult, and then the first boss is difficult. And through you learning how to play the game better, and getting more experience in the game itself, and especially unlocking more stuff, that first section is usually pretty easy and gets easier. And then the boss will drop something, some sort of item or passive or active item or something that will let you be able to... It'll give you the tools to tackle the next set of levels either more easily or sort of on even footing. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's never really a guarantee with that first boss. Yeah. Especially as... One of our frustrations with this game so far has been the unlockables, which is, here, you unlocked an icon. And I don't often feel like I leave the boss fight with tools to succeed in the next set of levels.
Yeah, and it's something about Isaac is like bringing it to the godlike tier. But the thing with Isaac is when you first start getting through 4 levels, feels like an impossibility.
Yeah.
But then as you progress, you unlock more items, you start to know what you're collecting and things like that. You then realize that the first 4 levels are a cakewalk.
Right.
In fact, getting all the way up to Mom's heart is a cakewalk.
That's just where you're scooping up everything you can.
Exactly.
Right.
It never felt like I was rewarded for my progress. It never felt like I was unlocking anything that made it easier for me. Whereas games like Isaac, you get an angel room, you pick up Godhead, and you're like, well, this is a win. I am going to clear this run. Everybody is dead. Godhead has done me a solid.
Right.
It's difficult. Like, both the game level and trying to balance this correctly. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the team. They did an amazing job. Like, the game looks good, derivative, but good. It handles phenomenally well. Like, and the thing that they lacked on is probably the thing which only obsessives really get into, which is the unlocks. Because I think we can say without hesitation, the guys behind Enter the Gungeon, they are slightly obsessed with gun puns.
The king of unlockable puns.
And we know from playing it for so long and from staying in, like, following him, Ed has a problem when it comes to Isaac.
Right.
Like, and he puts so much thought into every single unlockable thing that he does for that game that it feels like that's where they kind of fell a little bit short. Is, I don't want a symbol, I want an item, I want a different thing, I want a spec to start with that feels balanced. Right.
And I don't want to level up and unlock a pair of jeans. Like, that I liked the customization system they have. You can make your character look however you want it to. I think that's cool. But I think oddly, I would almost prefer it to how the Division does it, where I'd almost rather open up a chest in the dungeon and there be an item, and randomly, here's a brown shirt. Like, oh, okay, cool. Instead of, you got 3,500 experience points, here's a white hat.
Here's a hat.
Right, and sort of like, oh, but I need something in the dungeon to be able to get to the next step.
Yeah, I think cosmetics work well in video games when A, they don't matter, and B, in the not roguelike genre.
Right.
Like, first-person shooters, RPGs, huge open-world games, you give me cosmetics, I'm perfectly happy with that.
Yeah, I want that fashion destiny.
Exactly.
Yep.
You give me a roguelike and you let me unlock a hat, I'm very disappointed.
Yeah. And it's sort of hard for it's hard to balance talking about this game, because I do like it and I did have fun playing it. I'm frustrated because I wanted to go deeper and I wanted to see more. Monkey Senior, who's joining us on the show starting next week, got to like level 11 and still wasn't at the end. I was just like, oh my god, like, how am I going to make it up to level 11?
Yeah, number one, how did he get there?
Right.
And number two, how much time and thing did that take to get there?
How long was that run?
Maybe it's just a case of we didn't find the build for us. Maybe we didn't.
Sure.
But the problem is maybe that's because we didn't unlock the build, because you need to do specific things to unlock that specific type of build.
Right.
But you don't know what that is because the game isn't clear at all.
Yeah. The Isaac problem, where it's like, do something and we'll get something. Like, okay, cool, great. Yeah. So this is one of those games where it's obviously good, and we sort of didn't like it. And those are the ones I have. Both of us have trouble talking about, like we said, because it's a good game, and I know I'm looking online. There's a ton of people that really love it, and I think that's awesome. Mm-hmm. It never really clicked with me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. All right, well, that's our wrap-up for Caveblazers. Don't forget to join us coming out this same day for ranking Episode 8, where we put Caveblazers in the list scientifically. Yes, it's gonna be a banger. And we'll see you all next time.
See ya.
Hey everyone, just kidding. We've got to talk about the next game in the list since we're wrapping up Caveblazers. I'm a professional. The next game is 20XX. Came out for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. This is the Mega Man roguelike where you can also play co-op. So I've been looking forward to this game for a while because everyone that has played it has said, hey, this game is really cool. I am going to keep playing this. So,
having never played a Mega Man game, this should be interesting.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I've played all of them, maybe?
The only experience I have with Mega Man is Blue Bombing, and that's
okay. Yeah, the Giant Bomb series. Okay. Well, this will be very interesting. We'll talk about 20XS for probably 4 weeks. We'll start off with that and see how that goes. Goodbye for real this time. We'll see you next run.